So about a week or so ago, there was a fight between a South African UFC fighter and Israel Adesanya. And the South African UFC fighter took the fight and he won and stuff like that. It was a huge celebration. I think if you were online on social media, you would have seen it trending one way or another. You would have seen the celebrities or so forth. Now, just about yesterday, I saw a very interesting video. And this particular video actually coming from Israel's side of things. Okay, it came from Israel Adesanya's. It wasn't on his social media. I actually just stumbled on this video on Instagram. And so I would not have known about this video if I had not scrolled on Instagram. I think it's actually on Twitter when I was seeing the earlier story. Yeah, it's actually on Twitter. On Twitter, there is a Nigerian post, a Nigerian news post that actually posted or reposted a portion of this video. And so Israel didn't post it on his Instagram. This particularly came from thingy. When I was doing the earlier story, that's when I actually saw it. So this story, and it's not blowing up. I would not have seen the story. Even the video that I'm actually talking about is not big. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, is Israel Adesanya actually talking about his faith. And in this video, he can be seen in a white garment on that video. And they go to talk a little bit concerning his faith and stuff like that. A little bit here and there and stuff. I don't want to play the video because the video did have a background music behind it. But if you actually just scroll down, it will tell you the media house that was actually doing it. I think that was called Solomon's Media or something like that. But if you check Celestial Church of Thingy, that's the name of the church that Adesanya is claiming to have his faith under. And so I wanted to talk about this subject, and I wanted to talk about context of bringing people to faith, particularly to Jesus. Not just to bring people to our church, but to bring people to Jesus. And I think that's a very important conversation for us to have. It's the Created Show with Daily Christian commentary videos. Other videos done today, they'll be down in the pinned comments, and I'm gonna check you out over there. And so when I saw that video, I was very interested in listening to it, and they were asking him, okay, so what role does faith play in your thingy and being a part of this particular church? And the girl is asking him in the interview about his coming to this church. Now, it turns out that I don't know that the father is a pastor in this church or is a deacon in this church or something along those lines, because she does kind of mention something along those lines. So I'll leave the video down in the description below so you can go check it if you want to do so. Now, as I stated, they do have some background music. I don't know if that music is thingy, so it might give issues on YouTube and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring context here on when we bring people, or we are instructed to bring people to Christ, not just to our church. Okay? Because when it comes to denominations, I identify with Messiah first before I identify with a church. I identify with the doctrine. You see, when Paul is speaking, he says, I have kept the faith. The faith is the structure of doctrine that you have come to believe. Right? It's important we bring people. The focus here is to not just to bring people to our church, it's to bring people to faith. Right? It's very important. So no matter where they go, even if that church branch is not there, Christ be the center of what they look for as they walk in their journey out there. So when I was listening to the video, it sounded like this is a celestial church, so it's a white garment church. Now, I don't know if this is an international church or if it's a church in Nigeria or what. But this video comes right after that fight, okay? So that's in within that context, or they posted this video after that context. So they talk about, you know, his faith and what role his faith plays when it comes to his career, and you know also his belief in his love for his passion for his sport and what he plays and all that kind of jazz. Now the reason why I say we bring people to Christ is sometimes we can get sidelined by a church or by a pastor. We can go to a certain church and we approve, and then one day something happens, we don't approve. And now what happens to the display of our affection for our faith? This goes, if you can remember, not long back, another fighter giving his thingy, we spoke about giving his life to thingy, when he got married, Hulk Hogan, who is a wrestler, when he was earlier on baptized a couple of months ago. And this is the center, is that the ethics of the faith are what a person is brought to. It's not just bringing them to our church, it's bringing them to the faith. Paul says, I have kept the faith. I'm going to keep hinting at that because that's a very important one. Even if you talk to people, you remember Serena Williams as well, not long ago, also a sports lady. She also was baptized not long ago, a couple of months back. Now, her coming to be baptized, now you'll note there's been a lot of noise from the world to claiming to try and de-authenticate the Bible, or try to kind of like speak down on the Bible, either in Africa or in Europe or wherever it's happening. It's worldwide. So when we have moments where people are showing a side of their life that is towards faith, it's quite always interesting to see. Now, she is Jehovah's Witness, and so we might not agree exactly with the doctrines and stuff like that goes on over there. Now, I want to highlight why we bring people to faith and not just to our congregation. If you read John chapter number 1 here, verse number 3 up until 4, it says, through him, all things are made. And so, all creation centers around him. And so before denomination, before what community of church you belong to, or what you ascribe to, or what you believe about this and that, before we talk about all of that stuff, all things, the verse says, all things are made. So all things, through him, all things are made. And without him was nothing made that is made. And so you cannot find anything that you can give credit to its own. Now, this also dismisses the ideas of evolution and all these ideas, you know. Nothing was made outside of him. So you'll notice that part there. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. So the life in Christ was the light of men. And if you don't have that, you don't have life. But I want to remind of that part. Nothing was made that has been made outside of him. And so you can see where the dead teachings of evolution fall on their face. It says nothing that is made. So if you see anything, there is nothing that is made that was made outside of him. And then he goes to say, in him was life, and that life was the light of men. Now, if you actually go and read the rest of it, it says, and then the light shines in darkness, and darkness overcomes it not. In other verses, it says, darkness comprehendeth it not. It cannot contain or restrain, or we bring people to Christ. We bring people to relationship with God, not just our church. Our assignment is to following him. Not just following. So no matter what faith a person is to finds themselves in, the center, if you don't find this center, if the center in your church is a pastor, you have a problem. If the center at your church is your uniforms, your church thingy, now uniform has nothing to do with. If the center is that all these things are the most important thing. Okay, we wear this uniform because this uniform protects us. And some churches, they have badges, and the badge is supposed to wear it every single day when you go out on your life. Now, that might sound foreign to some people outside the country. Yeah, in churches, in South Africa, we have churches like that where they literally wear badges of the church in order to stay protected. It's heresies, because the center has gone away from him through whom all things are made. We must be very clear in communicating this. And so I hope Celestial Church is not just proud of having Israel Adesanya under their church and forgetting to direct the brotherhood to Jesus. It's not just directing him to uniforms. It's not just directing him to white cloth. We direct people. Our goal here is to direct people to Jesus. Through him, all things are made. And so life is completely defined under him. We create a mistake, or we build on a mistake. You know, when he says another foundation can no man lay than that which is laid. You see, we build on a mistake if we build it around anything except him. If we build our faith around a denomination, we create a problem, because the Church of Christ is a global community. If we go to a church and then only those that are in our church are the ones who are saying, no, you are in a cult. It's not a church. If your church does not acknowledge other churches, you have a problem. You are in a cult. It's not a. So we must be directed to Christ. And I hope that's exactly what happened with Israel Adesanya over here. We must be very clear on the message so that people are they're in the right position and they can define what exactly they believe. Y'all tell me what your thoughts are down in the comment section. It's Ricky, and I will see you on my other episodes. Other episodes down to be down in the pinned comments, and y'all have a blessed day.